Another episode of Sports Betting by Dummies. I'm your host, Patty Parlays, and with me, as always, Mr. Reliable, the guy of guys, wearing his awesome Seattle Kraken jersey from Top Dog himself, Connor. Connor, welcome in.
Well, thank you. I've been a lot more excited about hockey lately, and my picks have gotten better with hockey. So, pretty excited about that. Minus the Canucks. Don't include that Canucks pick. It was atrocious. Who could have predicted that was even going to happen?
But it's weird, right? So with gambling in general, the more you kind of get invested, the more you watch, the more research you do, the better you seem to do, and it just keeps bringing you in further, right?
Until the Avalanche just completely demolished the Canucks, then you have a mental reset on where your picks were set.
Sometimes you need a reset. Sometimes you need a break. It's okay to take some games off or some nights off. I had to do it a few weeks ago. You know what happens, and that's okay.
But I will say, with how atrocious the NFL was last weekend, I still had 3 of 4 of the Football Friday hit. I didn't get my 4 of 4 for what I needed for the competition. 3 of 4 is pretty solid.
That is solid, and that brings us well. Actually, before we get into Football Friday, I just want to talk real quick about the dailystakes.com. If you guys weren't aware, we had Nick on from the dailystakes.com on yesterday's podcast. It was an electric episode. If you haven't listened to it, make sure you go back and listen to that now. But not only are those guys great friends of ours, they give great insight on everything. They have a wonderful website that gives you all that information very quick, very easily, so you can make informed decisions. If you go to thedailystakes.com, first and foremost, maybe you're like me, maybe you're like Connor, you keep an eye on your finances. You're not sure if you want to spend money on this thing. I believe he said for $1 you can try the first week for $1. Does that sound right, or was it $7?
Yeah,
I think it was $1.
it's $1.
Yeah. So if you're not sure about it, then go out there, put $1 on it, and try it out for a week. That's what I did initially, and I got hooked right away. Now, if you go to thedailystakes.com and you sign up for a full month or even a full year or even just a full sport, when you go to check out, there's a promo code button, I believe, in the top right hand corner when you check out. Type in promo code DUMM, DUMM, and you get a 20% discount on that first month, and then that also helps us as a podcast. So, thedailystakes.com, promo code DUMM. All right, now we can get into Football Friday, Connor. It should be a relatively quick one because it's just me and you, the two, best or better gamblers on this show. Sorry,
Oh,
Diz.
worse.
When Diz isn't on the show, we get to talk smack about him. But you know how this works, Connor. Favorite underdog, over, under. Why don't you go ahead and start us off with your favorite? I won't go first today. I'll let you take over.
So, fading my own team here, the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm going with the Broncos. I got them at -3, but currently they're at 2.5. I would take either one. So, pretty easy. Eagles were trying to keep up with the Chargers. Broncos did come off a big win against the Cowboys, but then again, the Cowboys did smack the Eagles around quite well. So I think the Broncos are going to come in here and take care of business. They're really good against the run. The Eagles have just figured out they can run the ball, and I think they're going to have to throw the ball in order to get somewhere, and I don't think Jalen Hurts can do that.
Yeah, you know me. This is the classic situation where you would want to bet the Eagles, right? Especially with a team like the Broncos, who you're not super confident in. So I tried to look for that angle, a way to take the Eagles and feel confident with it. It just wasn't there. So unfortunately, not unfortunately, but I'm probably going to stay away from this game altogether. But I really, really wanted to take the Eagles, and when Sunday rolls around, I might take like an Eagles money line just for some value here. But I don't know. I can't disagree with your Broncos pick here.
This might be a game I turn off at halftime and find something else because they could be getting blown out at halftime.
The Broncos or the Eagles?
The Eagles.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I wasn't sure if you were thinking the Broncos could be getting blown out or the Eagles could be getting blown out, because I know you're
No,
an Eagles fan, but you bet on the Broncos. So
yeah, I wouldn't shut it off if I'm watching my Eagles win.
yeah, there you go. All right. So for my favorite, I went Patriots -1.5 versus the Browns. I just think the Patriots are better than everyone thinks, even with the way the Patriots have been playing. I had them winning their division from the start of the year, and they have a real chance with the Bills kind of stumbling a bit. I mean, the Bills lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars last week. Um, the Browns are coming off a huge win against the Bengals, and that's another reason why I like to kind of fade them in this situation. But it is confirmed that Nick Chubb is out with COVID.
Ooh.
So the Browns don't have Chubb. They don't have Kareem Hunt. I know they have our guy Dearness Johnson, so don't completely sleep on the Browns just yet. But and I think there's going to be a bit of a hangover. I think from the OBJ drama, because Chubb's out, so they're going to maybe have to pass the ball more, especially if they get down to the Patriots early, and then they're without one more weapon. So they're going to have to rely heavily on Jarvis Landry. I think Bill will know that. I think Bill will scheme to that. I could see the Browns maybe struggling a bit this week in a letdown spot.
So I just let Dearness Johnson go on fantasy a couple of days ago. I did not hear about that Chubb COVID thing. Did that come out today or yesterday?
Uh, he tested positive on Tuesday, but because he is vaccinated, he had an opportunity to still play this weekend. If he was vaccinated and had two negative test results within 24 hours of each other, or outside of 24 hours with each other, then he would have been able to play this weekend.
Okay.
But
Wow,
since he did not test, or since he tested positive again today, he does not have enough time to be listed or to be able to test negative in time to play on Sunday.
ouch, that hurts.
You may want to go back out and pick up Dearness Johnson if you're really hurting in the running back position like I am.
Not really. Is Chris Carson coming back?
I think so. I don't know. That Seahawks team could look like a completely different team if Chris Carson comes back and Russell Wilson comes back.
I did hear both were expected to come back, but
Yeah.
I'm still unsure.
Well, Mr. Unlimited, Russell Wilson is definitely playing. He's definitely back.
That's good.
So
I figured that on his part.
it'll be interesting to see if Aaron Rodgers plays as well, because then that game becomes way more interesting.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. I will go with my underdog. I'm going Lions plus 8.5 versus the Steelers. To be completely honest and fair with you, Connor, I don't like a lot of underdogs this weekend. This weekend seems like a pretty chalky weekend to me, at least just looking at it initially. But I think the Steelers, again, I like to ride teams that are, or fade teams that are coming off big wins. And then, it's not even a big win. The Steelers beat the Bears, but they probably, shouldn't have, right?
Yeah.
And I think the Lions are they've been close a few games. They lost on a last-second field goal, a record-breaking field goal to the Ravens. The Lions have been close a couple times. But they don't even have to win here. I'm not sure that they are going to win, but I just don't see this Steelers team blowing anyone out, even the Lions.
Yeah. I felt the same way about the Lions. I think they're going to keep it close with the Steelers. Not going to say they're going to win here, but
Right.
they always do crazy stuff each week because they're looking for that one win at least.
Yeah. Is that your favorite underdog, or are you just commenting on my underdog?
It was my underdog.
Okay. Perfect.
I only switched because I knew yours. I had two underdogs just in case. This was the only one I had two of. I went with the Raiders plus 2.5 versus the Chiefs. Chiefs have been atrocious. They're trying to crawl back to first place, but it's not looking very likely right now. Maybe towards playoff time, they might step it up a little more, but I haven't seen it out of the Chiefs yet. Raiders still on a roll. Don't know how. Who's your coach? Ruggs out, and they're still moving it.
Didn't they lose?
You can squint your eyes all you want. Raiders got this game.
Well, okay, I'm not disagreeing with you. I actually am leaning towards the Raiders in this game as well. So I'm not disagreeing with you there. But didn't the Raiders just get smacked by the Giants last weekend?
Yeah, the Giants who stay in every game somehow.
But it wasn't like staying in every game. Like the Giants blew them out, I think.
Did they?
I'll check the tape. I'll not the tape, but I'll.
Raiders versus Giants was definitely not a game I was watching last week.
No one was. That is for sure. I will give you that one. Let's see. Raiders. Okay, so the Giants won by a touchdown. It wasn't like a blowout, but Giants won by a touchdown at home. It is what it is. But I agree with you. I would much rather take the Raiders at +2.5 than the Chiefs at -2.5, and that shows you how far the Chiefs have fallen from grace. Because the Chiefs would cover like 15-point spreads like it was nothing when they were like really really rolling, and now against a team that the Raiders, the freaking Raiders, who have been demolished from all ends of the spectrum, we're now thinking, hey, Raiders will cover by less than a field goal against the Chiefs.
Who's in first in the division?
Good question. I don't have that. Hold on.
If Chiefs are in last, they're in last by like a game and a half from first.
So the Chargers and the Raiders are tied for first.
Yeah.
And then the Chiefs and Broncos are tied at. So the Chargers and Raiders are 5-3. The Chiefs and Broncos are 5-4.
Oh my gosh, a half a game so they didn't get their bye.
Every team in that division has exactly 5 wins. That division is anybody's.
Are they all equally good or equally bad? Or equally average?
I think equally average is the right word.
I'd say equally bad.
But how can you say bad if they have a winning record?
You could still have a winning record and be bad. Look at the Eagles division.
The Eagles are.
If you have a winning record in the Eagles division, would you say you're a good team?
I
know the Cowboys have a winning record.
The Cowboys are the only team with a winning record in that team.
Yeah,
in that division.
After last week, though, I don't know what to think of them.
Is the game this weekend in Philly? No, it's in Denver. It's in Denver. I know it's in Denver. Okay. Anyways, Connor, what do you like for your over this week?
Vikings versus Chargers over 53.5. Chargers and Eagles were on a roll. They covered that. I think the Vikings are better than the Eagles. I think both teams are going to do even better than what the Eagles and Chargers did against each other. So, seemed like a pretty easy pick to me.
I like it. I am just so terrified of taking either one of those teams. The Chargers 1 week can look like they're the best offense in the league, and then the next week they look like they're just straight garbage. And then the Vikings is the same way, right? The Vikings might put up 7 1 week, and then next week come out and put up a 50 burger. So I don't know.
Oh, sorry, the Eagles and Chargers got 51 points, not 53. But I still stand by the Vikings being better at scoring. I'm still not a fan of Kirk Cousins, but they seem to get it done.
Yep. No disagreements for me. Although, another thing to look out for, we talked about this kind of last week with the Eagles playing the Chargers. Chargers' run defense is sketch. Dalvin Cook might have himself a field day. Look for maybe getting him at 2+ touchdowns, maybe over on his rushing yards. Just something to keep an eye out. All right, my over, I got Bills-Jets over 48.
Okay. They played once already, didn't they?
Good question. Oh, breaking news on the pod. Alvin Kamara ruled out versus the Titans.
Doesn't affect me.
It affects me greatly because you know who I picked up in all my fantasy leagues?
Oh, man. No way. Did you just trade for him?
I picked him up. No one picked him up. So I got Mark Ingram in all of my fantasy leagues. Let's go.
Okay, I thought you were going to say someone traded Kamara to you because they may have heard something and you're like, oh, yes, I get Kamara? Are you kidding me? And then he's out.
So the Bills and Jets have not played yet this season.
Okay.
Now, I think the Bills are looking to bounce back. They only scored 6 against the Jaguars last week. There is no way that Josh Allen There is no way that Josh Allen has a repeat performance like that. It can't happen. It won't happen. It shouldn't happen. And then, who do we have on the other side of the ball, Connor?
Who do we have? Oh, is it going to be Flacco? Is he starting?
Magic Mike, the White Knight. Man,
Oh,
he is there. People are saying he might be the next coming. People are saying he should have been the number 1 overall pick over Zach Wilson, who went number 2 to the Jets. Zach Wilson might not have a job because of this man. And like you said, if something happens to him, he's a little bit fragile. He gets hit. He gets knocked out by this Bills defense. We have footsteps Flacco ready to come in and drop the hammer.
the White Knight's going to get sneezed on. He's going to be out the rest of the game.
Possibly. Quite possibly, but Flacco's our guy. We ride heavy with Flacco. We think Flacco can carry us to that over.
All right.
Also, I think 48 seems like a good number.
Yeah.
Normally, you'll see that at like 49.5, and then you get to like the 24 to 21 games, or even like 28 to whatever. And so, I like 48, 28, 21. We hit that number.
I believe the Patriots are now only a game behind the Bills for first place. And yeah, the Bills lost me my survivor pool last week.
Are you now on the anti-Bills train?
No. Got to be a realist. You can't let your emotions get involved in your picks.
So actually, New England is a half a game behind Buffalo. New England has not had their bye yet. Buffalo has, but they both have 5 wins.
Yep.
So, there you have it.
Right,
Okay.
you get to carry us to the under.
I do. And you know what I had as my under before this even came out and all this news happened?
Yeah, I see.
Saints Titans under 44.5. I imagine that number has gone even further down. Actually, I want to check that real quick because that could be. But I did have Saints Titans under 44.5. Titans are coming off a huge win against the Rams where they put up 28 points. The Saints only put up 25 against the terrible Falcons defense. But then, like we said, Kamara's out. I believe Simeon is still starting at quarterback for the Saints. At least I haven't heard otherwise. But even with Taysom Hill in there, I'm not super concerned about the Saints just lighting up the scoreboard. And I think, just like every season, the Saints defense is kind of slept on. I think the Saints defense is a very good team. So I'm liking the under in that game even more now that our boy Kamara is out. But maybe Mark Ingram has a flashback game and puts up like 4 touchdowns on his own. I don't know.
It has moved down a lot from the 44.5. It went down to 44.
Huge fluctuation.
Big
Huge
news.
fluctuation. Yeah.
Big news, big change.
Oh, yeah.
Very influential change.
Yep. I agree. All right, Connor, what do you like for your under?
Seahawks and Packers under 48.5.
So are you banking on that? Are you banking on Rodgers not playing?
Yeah. Rodgers starting. Russell Wilson starting.
Chris Carson
He's going
starting?
to be, yeah,
You-
everyone's starting. All starters starting. Everyone's back. Is it at Lambeau? I think defenses are going to battle it out. Russell's going to be playing from his ass the whole game.
Whoa.
So is Rodgers.
Okay. All right.
I think it's going to be a battle of the lines.
Okay. There you go. Football games that we did not touch on. Let's see.
Which is a lot, because there's only 2 of us.
Right. Jags Colts. I lean Jags plus 10.5.
I don't feel either way about this game. I would just pick money line, but even money line's atrocious to pick.
Yeah. Yep. Falcons Cowboys. Possible bounce back here for the Cowboys.
I don't know. The Falcons had a bad loss to them last year. They might be looking for revenge here.
And the Falcons just came off a big win against the Saints. So you would think it's possible letdown for the Falcons, possible bounce back for the Cowboys. I could see the Cowboys winning by 3 touchdowns.
And I'm just wondering if the Falcons let last year go. It was one of those games where they were up really, really big and blew it in the fourth quarter alone.
So you're thinking a little bit of revenge.
Hoping for it. I want the Cowboys to lose as an Eagles fan.
Right, right, yeah, yep. Buccaneers football team. Buccaneers are getting 9.5. You have to go Buccaneers in that game, don't you?
Yep, you do.
This Washington football team defense hasn't stopped anyone all season. What makes you think coming up against a Tom Brady led offense who's putting up MVP like numbers, coming off of a bye week, that I don't think there's any way that the Buccaneers don't cover that 9.5.
Yeah.
And they're coming off a loss. Didn't they lose to the Saints right before they went on a bye week? I think they did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
Tom's going to want to sling the rock around. They might put up 50 points this week.
50.
50 burger.
Is that a hot take?
You know what the over-under is at that game?
I do now.
51. So, but I wouldn't like the over in that game because I don't know that Washington's going to score a point on that defense.
Yeah, you kind of have to have both teams show up if you're getting over 50.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Panthers, Cardinals. Cam is not playing yet.
I wouldn't think so.
I don't know if Kyler Murray's back. I don't know if DeAndre Hopkins is back, but I think you still would probably lean Cardinals minus 10.5.
I believe Kyler is expected to play.
Okay. Then I would definitely go minus 10.5. And then Rams 49ers. I imagine OBJ might not play, or if he does play, it'll be in a limited role. I imagine Von Miller's playing.
I would hope so at this point.
It's just so hard to trust the 49ers anymore.
Hey, you have them winning the division.
Yeah. And instant regret on that.
I have the Rams winning that division. And the Cardinals, I don't know. It's going to be between them and the Cardinals.
I think that is a safe assumption, yeah.
Seahawks may be in that battle, or if Russell Wilson didn't go down, but he did. And I don't know that they could even crawl back to a wild card.
Geno Smith, the covering god, though. hasn't lost to the spread since 2014 or something crazy.
Oh my gosh. So you want him back just so you can pick the cover boy?
Heck yeah. Are you kidding me? You can give the Seahawks 10 points and I'll take the plus 10 with the Seahawks.
You can give him 1 point? 1 point versus the Cardinals. Geno will cover.
That's right. That's right.
They'll tie.
That's right. They may not win, but they will cover. All right. Let's talk about our dumbest dummy picks, Connor. I went 1-2 again. I consistently go 1-2 on those bets. Unfortunately for last night, I didn't have any super good value picks, so I did lose some units in the competition. How did you do last night?
Dolphins covered the 8.5. I wish I could have brought them to the Football Friday under 8.5. I liked them the most over the Lions and the Raiders. And then Oilers money line hit, and I already talked about the Canucks just getting demolished by the Avalanche. So did not see that coming. Their best players out. Who would have guessed?
Who would have thunk, man? The Canucks just didn't show up last night. I think there's no denying that.
Yeah.
There were a few teams that didn't show up last night, like the Islanders. The Islanders was the team I wanted to talk to you earlier about, but I forgot about. The Islanders, I think, lost like 4-0.
I also took the Islanders.
Yeah.
That was devastating.
Just
I did not take the Red Wings, though. I warned you about the Red Wings.
You did. I didn't listen. I did not listen. And then our boy Diz, who's not here, so he went exactly 4-4 on his over 5.5 last night.
All right.
What?
Did he move up or down with the plus and minus odds?
From just the overs of the 5.5s, he actually lost a little bit of money because only one of those was at plus value. However, his other bet hit at plus value, which did cause him to move up ever so slightly in the competition.
Okay.
So I am up 2.89 units. Connor is up 1.98 units. And Diz is now up 3.66 units. So we are all right there. We're all in prime position. And Diz isn't here, but I am feeling super good about these bets tonight. And I'll be honest with you, Connor. If one of my dumbest dummy competition bets hits, you guys are screwed again.
Just one.
I don't know if you've read the notes, but there's one that is such a good value that if it hits, I think you guys are hosed. You guys are gonna have to start doing some ridiculous shit again to try to keep up.
All right, we'll see about that.
We'll see. But first, before we do that, let me get Diz's competition bets out of the way. So he has a 3-leg NFL teaser. He adjusted it plus 7 points. So he's got the Titans at plus 4.5. He's got the Buccaneers at minus 2.5, and then he's got the Seahawks at plus 10.5, and that's at plus 120 value. And then he also has another. He called it a round robin. We're just gonna call it a parlay. He can fight me if he wants to. He technically did this as a round robin, but we don't do round robins in this bitch. So he took, again, 3 over 5.5s tonight. So he got the Coyotes and Blackhawks over 5.5. Flames and Maple Leafs over 5.5. And then the Capitals, Blue Jackets over 5.5.
Ooh, that one's disgusting.
It is disgusting. And Columbus is another good under team. And the Capitals just played last night. So that one will be interesting for sure. But those three parlayed together at plus 565.
He parlayed them?
Yeah, he parlayed them and did a round robin. But we're not doing the round robins. Because that gets complicated. He goes, I have technically 5 if you count the round robins. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. So we're just doing the parlay and calling it good. All right, Connor. Now, you know what? You go ahead and give us your competition bets.
All right, so I'm taking the Football Friday parlay.
Yep.
Switching out the Raiders with the Lions, though. My original under until I saw yours. Like I said, I had both of these lined up. So I'm getting that at plus 1247.
Okay.
Next one is Lions 8.5 versus Steelers alone. Minus 114. Then I'm taking I'll save that one last. I'm taking a boost. Cincy minus 23.5 and over 57.5 as a boost. Got that at 220. And the last one, I have not done this for hockey before. I'm doing the Maple Leafs minus 1.5 versus the Flames plus 144.
I love it. Absolutely love it. You're venturing away from the money line and going to the puck line, and I am a huge fan.
It could scare me back to money line.
It very well could be. It very well could. I've been there before, but I will say this, and this can go either way, but if the Maple Leafs are up late in the game and they're up by like 1 goal, then you're usually going to hit the 2 because they're usually be an empty net.
Yeah.
Now, if it's tied, then you're like screwed because it goes into overtime. Then you have no chance to win once it goes into overtime. So,
I do want to admit that I did live bet last night that no one would hit the empty netter in the Capitals game. I took the under 2.5 with 4 minutes left to go in the third period.
Oof.
Very, very risky move. But it hit, and it hit big. It was at plus odds at the minus 2.5. So, very thankful for that one.
There you go. Live bet machine.
Yeah, starting to get into it more.
Gonna have to call you Connor Live Bets. All right. I got 3 competition bets for you, Connor. I really wish Diz was here for this first one because he was with me on this adventure. But I'm not sure if you've heard this story or not, Connor, but this all ties into a story. But I'm going Georgia State money line versus Coastal Carolina at plus 340. And this is a pure revenge game for me. Okay?
You.
For me.
You
For
showing up fully
me.
padded?
For me, Connor. All right? Now, last year, when I had the opportunity to cash out for big money on a big underdog moneyline parlay, Georgia State was the game that I was watching, focusing on, being like, should I cash out? Diz, should I cash out? Oh my God, should I cash out? It was like $1. I could have cashed out for like almost $1,000 or something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, should I do it? Should I do it? I didn't. I let it ride. They went to overtime with the University of Louisiana Lafayette, and they lost. It was a heartbreaker. I watched so much of that game with a terrible Georgia State team. But this year, they are going to come in and they are going to seal the deal against another ranked opponent. Coastal Carolina, I thought they've been fraudulent since last year. Last year, during COVID, they went undefeated. They were rocking teams like crazy. Everyone jumped on the Coastal Carolina bandwagon. This year, they've already lost one game, and I just think that they are similar to ULL in the fact that they're a lower division team that's whooping all these bad teams, and then, you know, everyone thinks they're all hyped up and hyping them up, especially based off of last year. I think this year Georgia State's going to come in and they're going to beat Coastal Carolina. Georgia State was close against ULL last year. They went to overtime with them. They were close with them again this year, only losing by like 4 points, and they had the lead in the fourth quarter. And Coastal Carolina's starting quarterback is out. He got hurt. He is not playing, which makes me like Georgia State even more. So come on, Georgia State. It's a revenge game for me. I don't care what Connor says. If we can get Diz on or get some kind of information from Diz, he will back up the fact that Georgia State, I mean, had me down bad last year, but this year they make it all worth it here by taking the wind out of Coastal Carolina's sails.
All right, high emotions in here.
High
Usually you don't bet
emotions.
with your emotions,
High
but
emotions. I've been circling this game for a while, Connor. I've been waiting for this one.
yeah,
I've been waiting for my opportunity to bet Georgia State on the money line for redemption purposes, and this is the one.
I wouldn't be surprised if one of your walls that we can't see has all these strings and everything attached to which game you're going to bet on, and you've been planning this since last year, the day after that
Like there
bet
was
being made.
some murder or some conspiracy theory, and I just have strings going all over the place, and then it just in the middle of it, just Coastal Carolina, Georgia State circled in big marker.
Yeah,
I like it. I like
and
it.
then you have laces out everywhere.
Of course, naturally. All right, Connor. This next one you're aware of. I believe you're writing it as well. We're
Yep.
going to the NBA. We are going Kemba Walker to make the first basket tonight at plus 800. Now, this is the Friday first basket promo for FanDuel. If you guys don't know, go into FanDuel. It should be on the promos page. Make sure you opt in for the for the Friday first basket promo. You bet $25 on someone to score the first basket of a game, and then regardless of if he actually makes the basket or not, you get $1 back for every three made in that game. Now, let's break down the stats. I broke down the stats for you guys last week with some information I had. I'm doing it again for you here. Robinson, who is the starting center for the Knicks, wins 45% of the tips this season, which honestly, not great. I like to bet on someone that has like 60% tip percentage or win percentage. But the thing is based off of who he is going up against. Mason Plumlee of the Hornets only wins 31% of the tips that he participates in. So there's an advantage to Robinson in this situation. So I'm thinking the Knicks win this tip. Now, when the Knicks win the tip, who's going to make that first basket? I am going with my boy Kemba Walker. On the season, Kemba has taken the team's first shot 3 out of 11 games, which is second most on the team behind Julius Randle, who has taken 5 of them. But Kemba ties Julius Randle for the most first game field goals made with 2. So even though Randle is shooting the ball more, he doesn't necessarily make it. So I'm going with someone with a higher efficiency when he takes the first shot. And Randle's odds were at plus 500, whereas Kemba's was at plus 800. So I went with the higher odds in that situation.
And the 3-pointers should be able to make it back up if it does not hit. This is the most confident I would feel about getting your money back if it doesn't hit.
Correct. Now I'm looking real quick, but while I look at this to get some more backup, coming in from the clouds, the voice of God himself, Diz. Diz, welcome in.
Hey, thank you. Work was an absolute shit show today. I have nothing prepared. Patty, I believe I sent you my picks.
Yep.
That's all I got. I'm assuming you've already done the Football Friday aspect of it.
We
Yes.
we have. If you want to give us your 4 Football Friday picks, we can do that if you want. Or if you don't have it ready, then we'll just keep it moving.
I don't have them. I'm just I'm asking any what were the highlights? Anything big that we agreed on or disagreed on? Like maybe 2 or 3 key points that I missed.
Lions plus 8.5 versus the Steelers.
Sure.
We think that the Lions may not win the game, but they will definitely keep it close, and we don't think the Steelers can blow anybody out.
I would agree with that. And I love laying 8.5 as we did last night. Connor, great freaking pick.
Oh man, I picked them at halftime to win. Actually,
Ooh.
got some plus odds on that for the Dolphins.
We're gonna have to start calling Connor Live Bet
Nice.
Connor. We already talked about this, Diz, but it's gonna be Connor Live Bets because he has just been killing it with the live bets.
Absolutely.
And congrats to you, Diz, on hitting at least half of the 5.5s.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
And
I did the math. I think one of my plus money ones hit, so I think I lost a penny. I bet it was $40 total, and I made $39.99. So I lost a penny.
I don't think you did your math right, Diz, but unless you got different odds than when I took it at. But
You took them too?
Of course. Bet together,
took it
win
as well.
together. Yeah, what are we
We all
talking
took it.
about? Yeah. When our boys make picks, we ride with them.
I probably did bad math.
I think you did. Well, you also could have gotten different odds based off of when you took it, because you probably took it earlier in the day, and me and Connor probably took it after the pod. So maybe a little bit different odds there. But yeah, we rode with you, dude.
Were you close to breaking even?
I think we lost like 0.19 units on the over 5.5.
0.19 is steep. I don't know. Maybe I got different odds. Maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know. Either way, would have been nice if I had Connor's support. That's all I have to say.
It would have hit if I would have supported.
Yeah.
But then again, I faded
Correct.
the Predators and Blues game, but that one covered one of the 5.5s.
That is true. And Diz, you missed it, but you are now leading in the dumbest dummy competition.
Yeah, baby.
But only
Never a doubt.
by like half a unit. So let's not jump ahead of yourselves. And I gave them your dumbest dummy bets already, Diz. And just real quick, so on that 3-pointers made for those teams, Connor.
Yeah.
The Knicks average 14 threes a game, and Charlotte averages 14 threes a game. So if both teams go to their averages, then we cover the $25 bet
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Charlotte Hornets ranked 28th in threes allowed, and the Knicks ranked 30th in threes allowed. So
Perfect.
we should see plenty of threes flowing to get us our money back. But Diz, if you want to hop on, First Basket Friday promo, Kemba Walker to make the first basket in the Knicks Charlotte game.
Love it. What's the value?
Plus 800.
Sure.
You place you opt in. You place $25 bets on Kemba to get that first basket, and then you get $1 back for every 3 made in that game. And we're feeling really confident in pretty much all aspects of that.
How many threes are normally made in an NBA game? That's my concern.
Does not matter. I just told you. So Charlotte and the Knicks both average 14 points or 14 3-pointers each per game this season. So that's 28, but then they also average giving up 16 between the both of them. So This should hit no
Gotcha.
problem.
Love it.
And then Diz, you remember my Georgia State bet that cost me that money line underdog parlay last year?
How could I forget?
That's what I'm saying. So I'm taking Georgia State money line this weekend against Coastal Carolina. Diz,
I love it.
revenge
I
game.
absolutely love it.
Absolute revenge game. And Coastal Carolina starting quarterback is out. So I'm this is the one. I've been waiting all year for this one.
It's the value.
Plus 340.
Got it.
Let's go.
Hell yeah, baby. Write it out.
Georgia State. They broke my heart once. They're not going to do it again. They couldn't do it again, Connor. They couldn't do it again.
At
It'll
Georgia
be a
State,
full year.
Georgia State you might as well call them the Astros because they're gonna keep breaking your heart. That's all I'm gonna say.
Why do you have to say that? Why would you come in here and drop that on me?
Just a reminder. Just a reminder. I'm sorry. I felt maybe you needed to hear it. If they lose this one, maybe stay away.
Well, this is like the only time I bet on them all year, so it's not like I'm coming back to them every single week. But this one feels like that ULL game from last year, so I'm feeling good about this one.
So it's gonna ride on your emotions for an entire year again, and the wall is gonna grow. It's gonna be the other wall. You're gonna point out one wall was last year, then another wall is this year.
Before you know it, you'll see it start creeping into the background of this wall, and you'll just see strings all over the place.
Yeah.
I got it. And then my final competition bet, and this is the one, Connor. This is the one that if this one hits, then you guys are hosed. Okay?
All right.
Ja Morant to record a triple-double tonight at plus 2,700. Now, that is very high odds because he has only had 3 career triple-doubles. However, I was also the one that was on Devin Booker's first career triple-double in the playoffs last season and the Suns to win, and I had tremendous value on that. So, this season, Ja Morant is averaging 26.5 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 7.3 assists. Obviously, the biggest issue here, rebounds. Only averaging half of what he needs for the triple-double. Deandre Ayton for the Suns is out, and he's their leading rebounder. I'm just kind of hoping that he might have more opportunities to grab some boards. Of course, this is a long shot. There's a reason it's plus 2,700 odds, but it's Friday. Things get wild on Fridays. You just got to be careful on Fridays, but I'm feeling this one. I'm really feeling this one. He has had double-digit assists twice this season, so I think he can get that again. And he has not hit double-digit rebounds yet this season, but he did have 9 in a game at one point this season. So I don't think it is like one of those complete out-of-realm possibilities that can't happen. So let's get crazy tonight. Let's see a Kemba Walker first bucket. Let's see a Ja Morant triple-double. And let's go into the weekend riding high.
Hell yeah, baby.
Love it. All right, best bets. So as a group, we are down 2.54 units, but we are climbing back. We had a great night last night. We hit 2 of 3, and no one could have predicted that the Pacers would have smacked the Jazz around like they did. Now, Diz, did you see the fight in this Pacers-Jazz game?
I did not.
I did not either. Connor said that there was some big scrap that happened. We probably should have looked it up before this.
Probably, especially before you call it out.
Yeah, that's on me. But so the Jazz hadn't lost at home before last night. The Pacers, Sabonis only scored like 6 points. If you tell me that the Jazz are at home and Sabonis is only going to score 6 points, I'm thinking the Pacers lose by 30 points. But somehow, some way, the Pacers just come out swinging. So Sabonis finished with 6, and I mean,
didn't McConnell have like 30 or something?
McConnell had 21, and then Brogdon had 30. So that's just, I mean, that's insane to me. But yeah, it was crazy. But that's what happens sometimes.
It was a fight. You know anything about the fight?
I don't know anything. This says Pacers
Brought up a
outlast
fight.
Jazz in a feisty contest. Oh, here you go. Here you go.
I'm just watching the video.
Turner, Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, and Joe Ingles were ejected with 4 minutes and a second left. Turner shoved Gobert, planting his shoulder in his back after a missed layup. Gobert responded by bear hugging him and trying to wrestle Turner to the floor. The two players had to be separated near the basket across from the Pacers bench. So Turner thought that Gobert knocked him to the floor after the play. Turner said he had to stand up for himself in this situation. And so the teams kind of came to blows and 4 players got ejected.
Great time.
Yeah. Keep that in mind for later on in the season when these two teams play again. There's going to be bad blood there. We'll have to keep an eye on it. But nonetheless, we are climbing back as a group in our best bets competition. So what are we thinking for this weekend? I think we have to go Lions plus 8.5. Both me and Connor agreed on that one.
That's what I'm riding with at minus 114 is what its ad is, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, I'm totally in on that. I know it's out of reach, but just a comment because I missed Football Friday. I'm actually loving the Lions money line. I know that is a hot take, but the value is amazing. And one of my coworkers is in a survivor pool, an eliminator pool, and I think there were 1,100 people to start. They're down to 51, and 20 people have the Steelers over the Lions, and not including him. So if the Lions beat the Steelers, he is one of the remaining 30 and like a $40,000 survivor pool payout. So I'm rooting hard for the Lions, and I would not be surprised. I don't know how to feel about this Steelers team, and I think the value is really good. But yeah, plus 8.5 all day.
Love it. All right, what else are we liking? Anything you feel particularly good about on the ice tonight, Connor?
I was feeling good about the Oilers until you contested that earlier today.
What about the Hurricanes?
So the Flyers had a couple games where their offense just would go off,
Mm-hmm.
and then they would do nothing for like a decent span in between those games. I do like the Hurricanes, but it's at minus 188 right now, which is outside of our range, unfortunately, for the best bets.
True. Let's see. What else do we like?
Can't do Blackhawks. Bruins are just outside of it.
So I think we could. I think we can give it an exception if we want. I just kind of set the minus 150 to plus 150 like general guidelines, just so we wouldn't be taking like super heavy favorites or like super crazy long shots.
But I like those. I like those guidelines. They keep us honest and in line.
Okay.
I do like the over 5.5 for Coyotes and Blackhawks, though.
Okay, Diz, how do you feel about that one?
You said over 5.5
for Coyotes,
Yeah.
Blackhawks.
You don't have to ask me. If it's over 5.5, automatic. Still is.
Love it. All right, Coyotes, Blackhawks.
Hey, there was a college football parlay boost on FanDuel. I don't know if anyone saw it. I think it's Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Georgia all to win this weekend from like minus 160 to minus 110. I know that falls within the range, and I know that's screaming for an upset to happen, but I don't know. Those are all 3 heavy favorites. I don't know how we feel about that.
I'm okay with that. You go with that, Connor?
I'm good.
The one that concerns me with that is Oklahoma, but
yeah,
because I think Purdue had its day against Michigan State last weekend, so I think Purdue might come up and put up a stinker against Ohio State. Georgia, who's Georgia playing? I don't remember who Georgia's playing, but they should beat them. And then Oklahoma versus Baylor. I hate Baylor. I just cannot stand Baylor. I think they're overhyped. I think people are going to be heavy on Baylor. So I feel really good about that. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, boys. It's time for the Hail Mary parlay of the day. I just have one for you fellas. It's the multi-sport Hail Mary parlay of the day. Not a ton of juice here. Connor, I believe you've already seen the value.
Got it.
Diz, do you want to take a guess or do you want me to just send it?
1400.
No, that's way too much juice. It is $1 to win $541.18.
Well, yours yesterday was 2 G's. What do you mean that's way too much juice?
For today, that's way too much juice. I didn't have that kind of juice today.
I don't need that negative judgment, though.
That's
You're
fair.
out here throwing bands down.
That's fair. That's on me.
It's Friday. What's this negative energy? Get it out.
Sorry, my bad. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 in the NBA. I got 4 on the ice for you. My NBA ones, I got Knicks -1.5 versus the Hornets, Bucks -1.5 versus the Celtics, Cavs -5.5 versus the Pistons, Nets -8 versus the Pelicans, Kings -4.5 versus the Thunder, Nuggets -5 versus the Hawks, and Warriors -5.5 versus the Bulls. And then in the NHL, I got Oilers moneyline versus the Sabres, Hurricanes moneyline versus the Flyers, Maple Leafs moneyline versus the Flames, and then Blackhawks moneyline versus the Coyotes.
The question for you:
Yep.
the Bucks versus Celtics. Why is that line moving drastically right now?
Moving in which direction?
It's supposedly an even game at this point. Versus the Bucks were favored heavier this morning.
I'm seeing Bucks -1. Let me check the injury report real quick, because that's usually the
So
only.
I had Bucks at -130 this morning.
So usually the only thing that would move the line like that is some injury news. So let me check.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, maybe it's because Giannis is a game time decision.
Okay.
Let me see if I can figure out if Giannis is playing or not. Because that is always something you need to kind of keep your eye on. Oh, here we go. There's a Giannis is probable for the game between the Bucks and the Celtics. Okay. So, I think maybe some people might be scared of the fact that Giannis may or may not be playing, or he may be kind of banged up. But I think Giannis plays tonight, and I feel good about the Bucks -1.5.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen. Anything you boys need to get off your chest before we call it a Football Friday, call it a weekend?
I don't have anything today, boss.
Wow.
Damn it. Connor normally goes first, and then it gives me time to think of something. I never prepare something for the end. While Connor's talking, I block him out, no offense, and I think of something to say, and I have nothing either. That's a really upsetting way to go into the weekend. Patty, tell me you got some juice.
Well, I will say this. For the first time ever this weekend, I gave Connor literally every single one of my college football bets this weekend. Now,
Yeah.
how many does that contain, Connor? About 50?
49.
Yeah. Now,
What the fuck?
hold on.
Pat.
Hold on.
Pat. Go
Let me-
back to the intro of the pod. All that number that you read off to people. What the hell is wrong with you? Are you good, bro?
I am fine. I researched.
49?
Let the man's talk, all right? Let me talk. Now, I do not take all of these individually, okay? So I'm not making 49 separate picks. What I do is I usually parlay them together in some sort of fashion or some sort of way. That's what I do. I'm Patty Parlays. Now, while I have 49 picks that I am leaning towards, I may only make 5 picks on Saturday. That's 5 different parlays with those teams intermingled and intermatched, okay? I don't go through and I don't lose $50 every single week on betting college football because I take 50 different picks.
No, that's what I do.
Mr. 100 piece over here with Diz is coming over talking to me because I think certain teams should win certain games this weekend.
seemed like 50 separate bets, and I was about to throw up.
And that's why I wanted to clarify. But, yeah.
No one here would do 50 separate bets. I did 49.
Just like Diz didn't want to go to 10 double digits for his dumbest dummy picks for yesterday.
And it worked out because I won 5. If
I
I
know.
win 5 on 10 bets, I'm only 50%. But 5 of 9 sounds a lot better than 5 of 10.
That is true.
But 6 of 10 sounds a lot better.
49.
I'm optimistic if you would have bet the 10th one, it would have hit.
20 of 49 sounds a lot better than 20 of 50. All right. So there. That's what happens when you guys leave me to be the last thing on the podcast.
That was great, Pat.
Yeah. You're welcome. This isn't on me.
That was great. That was great, but with all due respect, stick to the intro.
Stick to the intro. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
I'm just kidding, Pat. I love you, buddy.
Mr. 100 Burger.
Yeah, and it fucking hit. Maybe like a good job, Diz. Good job on that bet.
It's all fun and games when you're hitting your bets, but then if you would have lost money on that 100 Burger, then you would have been in bad shape.
I would have kept it moving. Guess what? I still would be on the pod this week.
True.
Pat, are you placing your risk-free on any of these best bets? Or do you have another one you want to place it on? Your big risk-free.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I placed it on the Canucks last night.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ouch. Oilers.
So
You didn't tell me that. You didn't tell me that.
I thought I did at one point, but maybe I didn't. But yeah,
Devastating.
that risk-free bet is no longer. So now I'm just using bonus funds for everything. That's another thing. If you follow us and you do the first bet or the first Basket Friday promo, make sure you do not use bonus funds for that, because that will nullify the promo.
Yes.
Not that we've run into that issue before on this podcast. We're just trying to help people out.
Now that I've had to go, oh crap,
And
see why it didn't.
Some way, somehow, Connor, every time he does that, he has the opportunity to cash out. Every time I mess something like that up, I never have that opportunity. So I don't know why that is a thing or why Connor is so lucky in all those, but it is what it is. Alrighty, actually, you know what? I forgot to mention this. Let's end this on a fantastic note, fellas. We officially have hit 2,000 plus total downloads for the podcast.
That happened yesterday, right? During the day?
It did. So
Okay.
Thank you to all of you out there listening. It's amazing to know that there are people listening. It's crazy what this has become in the mere, 94 episodes, 7 months we've been doing this. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. We're hoping to continue to improve on the product for you guys. But we really just can't thank you all enough. We can't do it without you.
Here's my check.
We're still waiting on that one, Diz. But maybe sooner rather than later that'll happen for us.
I'm just playing. Good shit, boys. Patty, you spend so much time doing this. I don't do shit. I just jump on and say heinous things, and I literally get on FanDuel in the parking lot of my office 5 minutes before I drive home from work, and I do the pod every single day. So the fact that you do all this stuff is big time. I just kind of get on and say stupid stuff. So I appreciate what you do, Patty, and I think it's a group effort, but Patty, you definitely rein the ship. I just kind of do dumb shit.
Well, hey, I appreciate both of you guys. It would be weird if I did all the work I did and then I just came on here and just gave out picks and just talked to myself. So even just having someone else on there to just talk to and go over things with, it's always a good sanity check for me. I always appreciate the feedback, the commentary, the back and forth. So really, this thing is nothing without you guys. It's nothing without the listeners. I love all of you guys. If you want to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at SportsBetByDumb. And then you can also see us live on YouTube and Twitter. For YouTube, just go into the search, type in Sports Betting by Dummies, filter by channel. We are the first option on there. We are trying to get it up to 100 subscribers. That way we can give you guys a custom URL. But again, thank you all for listening. Hope you guys have a nice, long, profitable weekend, and we will see you all on Monday.